Hello, it's Debbie Gilbert, host of the Business Awards show, and I'm the founder of the Best SME Awards and the Best Business Women Awards. Well, today I'm delighted to welcome Ingrid Sanderson, founder of Principal Business Travel, a company that has been delivering premium relationship-led business travel services for more than 25 years. Ingrid built the business in 1999 with a clear mission to provide exceptional customer service and become a true extension of her clients' teams. She won the Gold Award for Best Customer Service at the Best SME Awards this year. She's known for her calm leadership, strategic approach, and unwavering focus on traveller well-being. Ingrid has become a trusted advisor to high-performing professionals and growing businesses navigating the challenges of global travel. She is also a passionate advocate for the human side of business travel, proving that in times of disruption and uncertainty, experience, relationships, and real support matter more than ever. In today's conversation, we're going to be talking about her entrepreneurship journey, her resilience, her customer loyalty, her leadership, and how she has built a successful travel business that continues to thrive in a constantly evolving industry. So, Ingrid, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much. And I have my award here.
Oh, look, that looks amazing.
I
Pride
know.
of place.
Yeah, I know, totally. Yeah, always here. So thank you very much. Yeah, we're
Oh,
absolutely delighted.
well deserved. I can honestly say, well deserved. The judges' comments about you were very glowing.
Oh, thank you.
So, Ingrid, let's go back to 1999. So, it's a very big decision to set up a travel agency.
It really is, yes.
The listeners probably don't know this, but my background was in travel before I went into marketing nearly 30 years ago. And so I know more than most how difficult that is. This is not an easy business to set up. So, talk me through what led you to do that.
Thanks ever so much for this opportunity. It's so nice to be here speaking with you. I had always been, apart from 2 years when I first came out of college, I'd spent 10, 12 years in business travel already in various guises. And eventually I want to set up my own agency because I was frustrated at the level of service and the level of commitment that we could give to our client within the parameters of the various companies that I was working for. And I just always found myself disagreeing with the senior leaders, with the management. And, sometimes I think, well, was it arrogant? Was it not? I'm not sure. But I just found myself thinking more often than not, I could really do this better. And I spoke about that, for a few years. And eventually I thought, well, I'm not getting any younger. I really ought to be cracking on with this if I'm going to do it. And what's the worst that could happen?
Mm.
I've been in retail and business travel. Like I say, most of my life, most of my working life, and my passion's business travel, and I sort of found myself doing that when I was traveling myself and living in Australia. And I managed a university branch of STA Travel over there. And so the travel that we were doing, yes, was half for students, but the other half was for the university academics, their staff traveling on business for projects and for research and so on. So I was, plotting a lot of the geologist trips, for example, around Papua New Guinea and the South Seas and so on, learning about new places all the time and just finding it fascinating. And but also working to very tight budgets and to high expectations because these people needed looking after. But there wasn't a massive budget to provide that. And so myself and my team really, worked hard to make sure that they were covered in every sense when they were traveling, because there was a lot being asked of them. And that's kind of what drove my um, my want to be in business travel when I came back to the UK. And I felt lucky then because this hadn't been like that in Australia, but there were lots of business travel agencies or business travel houses, as they were called back then, available to apply to. And so then I did manage to find my way into the field over here and work my way up that way. So
Mm.
it was really good opportunity.
Yeah, and then you set up your own agency in 1999. So, born out of what you could see was going on in the agencies that you were working in. I mean, can you think back to what those challenges were at the time, setting up an agency on your own?
Yeah, I mean, I was reasonably young, of course, but I was gung ho, I can do anything. We were and still are licensed by the Travel Trust Association, which is now part of the Travel Network Group. And had that organisation not been there, I wouldn't have been able to do it because to set up licenses with ABTA and the bigger organisations required a massive bond. And it's a massive bond that sits there sort of doing nothing. It's sort of on the just in case, so self-insuring, if you like. But the way the trust accounts work is that clients' money is protected until they return home from their trips, and the agent doesn't get paid any commission or service fees or anything like that until the trip is completed. So it protects them in that respect, and you have to be licensed in the travel industry as an agent for even now, majority of suppliers to work with you. And so if you don't have that, then you closing the door to very many suppliers. And so then that will shut you out of the best rates, the negotiated rates, the route deals, hotel bed bank rates, and so on. And there's a lot of really great suppliers that only work with agents, again, even now after all this time. So sort of finding my way there, because obviously we needed to look after people to the best of our ability, but we needed to be fully licensed as well, which was really important, and have everything in place from the outset, so we could properly build on it and then scale. So that was fundamental. And then I mean, there weren't really any specific because I was quite gung ho at the time, but so I sort of took on board, well, I need to set up this now I need to find a bank account, and now I need to do this and this. And I started it, from my dining room table at home, obviously, like everybody does. And I, I found along the way that I learned very quickly that this industry just completely throws you a curveball almost on a daily basis. Oh, and certainly on a monthly basis. And then every now and again, something really massive comes in and just knocks you sideways. It's like, oh gosh, brace yourself. Here we go again on the roller coaster. And so I've set up the business, and yes, we knew it was coming because there was a lot of talk in the press about it. But I think 6 to 8 months after I set the business up, BA led the way in pulling all agents' commissions.
Mm.
So back in the day, they used to pay agents 9% commission for every ticket that they issued. Well, I probably would have retired 20 years ago if that was still the case.
Mm.
So that was a big challenge, because then you're talking about, okay, well, we're not going to earn any commissions anymore. So we've got to, remodel ourselves, restructure ourselves and represent ourselves, because, and again, even now, it's quite difficult. And this is one of the biggest challenges in business travel, or even travel at all, is convincing people that they should use you as an agent rather than book it themselves. And because as an agent, you're not getting paid commissions from airlines anymore, you have to charge a service fee. So
Mm.
we're very transparent the way that we charge our fees. We like to know, well, the airline's charging you this much to fly to wherever you want to go. But our fee for the resourcing of, the sourcing of that, the presenting you the options, the holding the options, the ticketing, the itineraries, the invoicing, the 14 days credit, all of those things that then follow after, we have a separate service fee for that. So they can see very clearly which is which rather than build it all in. So that was a huge challenge. It still is a challenge now because, like I say, if we're talking to new clients, one of the first questions is always, why can't I just book it myself? What we do find, though, is that the people that arrange the travel, the bookers and the ones being tasked to perhaps send 15 people to Budapest for a 4 day, and some people are coming from this place and some people are coming from that place, and so needs to hire a car but so doesn't. And then there's various grades of hotel accommodation. Oh, and by the way, could you book this restaurant for this, that and the other? Whoever the booker is, it's taking them most of their working week to arrange all of that, whereas the senior leadership teams just have asked for it to be done, and they don't see the work that goes into it. And so therefore when the booker says, why don't we use a business travel agent? They're like, well, why would we do that? So that is an ongoing challenge for us, not to mention external things like
Mm.
pandemics and ash clouds and wars in
Wars.
Iran. Yeah,
Yeah, there's
yeah.
always something, like you said, there is always something going on in the world that affects how we're traveling. I'm
Mm.
interested to understand how you built your client base when you set up on your own. How easy was that to do, and how have you managed to grow and maintain that client base?
So our client base, I was very lucky that some of my existing clients found me,
Hmm.
because obviously I couldn't take any clients with me as such, but they did find me. I mean, if it was now, they'd find you even easier, wouldn't they?
Mm,
Because everybody's online and so on.
yeah, and
But
they weren't back in
yeah,
1999.
no, no, exactly. So yeah, they thankfully they worked quite hard to find me. So that was amazing. Lots of word of mouth, obviously lots of putting it out there to my whole network, such that it was at the time. And then it was recommendations. And I did do a little bit of leisure travel as well, just to sort of, plug the gaps and so on. And even now, to be honest, if it's one of our corporate clients that say, oh, could you just arrange these flights or arrange my holiday, or I've got my 25th wedding anniversary coming up and I really need to do this properly, can you help? We will happily, engage with all of that and getting that. It's if someone that we don't know contacts us and says, yeah, I need your cheapest week in Benidorm, that has its place, and how brilliant is that? But, have a lovely time. But I am not the best person to help you. I don't know where to book it. I don't know what the best deals are. I've never been there, so yeah, so we do focus so on the business travel, but we do help from time to time. And so we were very, very lucky with the recommendations and the way that worked. And then as time went on, one of our biggest sources of new clients actually has been if someone leaves a company that they're working for often, and then they go and work for a new company, and that new company doesn't have a travel provision in place. We've been very, very lucky to secure a lot of first-hand recommendations that way, and then go and speak with those management teams and so on, and take on those clients that way. And then we never advertised. We didn't advertise or market ourselves in any way. Again, unless you put a big expensive ad in the Telegraph all the time. So it wasn't really a way, was there? But now with social media and so on, so I have a lovely lady looking after our social media, making sure that we're present 2, 3, 4 times a week, making me do videos and this kind of thing, 'cause that's all the rage. And so yeah, so people are also finding us via the power of Google. We've just recently ventured into the world of Google Ads. Is
Okay.
what we found is that business travel is, if someone's looking for it and therefore they find us because they've typed into Google business travel agent or whatever they type in, that's really great for us because they're already looking for us. And so it's there that they have then been guided to our website and contact us. And so that works really, really nicely, as does all the socials work and the Google business profile,
Mm.
finding doing everything that way. So then the searches find out their way to our website organically as well.
And are you doing networking as well? Because obviously that wasn't a thing really back in
No,
1990,
yeah,
was
it
it?
wasn't, was
No,
it? And I did shy away from networking for a long
so
time.
did I.
Yeah, and you're amazing at it. And I'm just not very comfortable. I'm not that person that can be in a room and walk up to a group of people and start talking to them if I don't know them.
Mm.
But as time goes on, you get more used to it. And because I'm quite small as well, so I always feel like the little girl in the room. So yeah, I'm sort of having to get over myself really. But yes, I have been networking more and more. And actually, I in the pandemic, because I really didn't know what was going to be happening to the business, I trained to be a small business coach as well. And so obviously I had to do a lot of networking, and that was really forced upon me at that time. So yeah, I network not particularly within the travel industry, although I've been really, really lucky and invited to a couple of dinners hosted by the Business Travel magazine. So that's been really great. And because of that, I have met some people that I used to work with years and years ago, or people that are working for an agency I worked for years and years ago, but joined that agency after I had left. So that's been quite interesting. And there's always it's good to collaborate with other people, share ideas. You know, there's no competition in the room or anything. So that's always really, really nice. But yeah, the business growth networking groups I find really valuable, because that's business owners around a room masterminding and brainstorming and helping one another, rather than introducing and
Mm.
pitching and marketing. And I try not to go to those ones.
You've mentioned a couple of times when you've been talking about yourself the word luck, and I don't
Mm,
believe it's luck. I think a lot of what you've built is because you have a really, really clear conscience about delivering good customer service. So when you talked about, oh, I've been lucky that people have left a company and gone to work for another company and then carried on using you, I'm going to challenge you on that, Ingrid, and
mm,
say that isn't luck, that you built that, yeah? And when you're getting invited to dinners, the Business Travel Magazine dinners, that's not luck. That's because you've
mm,
built that reputation, okay? So
mm,
let's talk about that customer service that you deliver. Okay. So, yes, you've absolutely hit the nail on the head that we can all now go online. And if I wanted to book a trip to Paris, I can do that myself.
mhm.
Why would I come to you? And I would come to you because you know so much inner knowledge about these destinations. So, talk me through some of the things you do with clients to deliver that exceptional customer service that you've been awarded for.
Yes, yes, indeed. And it is something that my team will tell you I'm absolutely fierce about. And I try very hard not to micromanage in my business, but I am across everything. If I see an inquiry coming in, and it's all I can do, not to say no, make sure you do that, make sure you offer that, and have you looked at this supplier? And but I've trained them all, so no, obviously I trust them all implicitly. But for us, it's not just about order taking. If someone wants to book a trip to Singapore and they send us an email or an inquiry through the portal, and say to us, I need to be in Singapore on this date, this date. I've had a look at Skyscanner. Here are the and here's the airline that I want to go with. In our world, a lot of this travel has to be approved. And if it's a busy time, you know what it's like, business travel is obviously very, very late notice. And so airfares are high, particularly if they want to travel in one of the premium classes. So what we don't do is just order take and offer them that. Okay, you've said you want to travel with Singapore Airlines. That's fine. Here's the price. Off you go. Tell us if you want to book it. We will present back several more options. It's like, yes, it's this price. There's this other airline that also flies direct, which is this price. Or if you go indirectly and, perhaps stop over or whatever, we will always present a range of options, thinking outside the box, if you like. And that's particularly important when it becomes to multiple destinations. So they might not just be going to Singapore. They might be, having to hop down to Indonesia and then over, and oh, by the way, can I just come back via Hong Kong or Tokyo? Then you're talking about mixing up airlines, which drive prices up even further. And at the moment, with the price of fuel as it is, airlines are starting to think, well, are our reserves going to run out? We don't know what's happening. Actually, even in the news, it's going quite quiet, isn't it? I'm sure it'll be noisy again now I've said that. But with all of the uncertainty, you need just a bank of information, and I really feel that that's where we come in. We discuss different curveballs all the time, so it's not just the current war, it's not just the current price of fuel. Someone might send an inquiry, and get everything booked and in place, but once they've gone off, who knows what's going to happen, because the world's just crazy. And so wouldn't it be nice just to pick up the phone, send a quick email? We're on WhatsApp with a lot of our client groups as well, and just be able to get to someone and know that it's going to be sorted out. So you're not then having to spend all the time that you're over in your destination where you're supposed to be preparing for that kick-ass presentation or whatever it is you're doing there. You know there's a problem, but you equally, and you're comfortable that someone else is going to deal with that for you, and you can get on with what you're doing and then talk to them about the available solutions after that. And I just think that is invaluable. And it's not a case of getting to the airport and finding out that your airline's delayed or even cancelled. You need someone proactively thinking for you and checking these things for you all the time. And as I say, not just order taking. I know some of our managers that provide approvals are going to balk at some of the prices that the airlines are saying. We have got to show that we are thinking outside of all of that. But equally, we are working really, really hard for the client's well-being. Back in the day when I first started out in business travel, it was kind of nothing to expect an executive to hop on a 10, 12, 15 hour a long haul flight, be expected to perform when they got there, jump on the plane, go back home again straight away. Oh, and by the way, they're sitting at the back in economy, and
Mm.
then go into their office when they got back and present their findings, or, present a deal that's worth hundreds of thousands of pounds.
Mm.
And we're really trying to work with the customers now and the HR teams, and we've produced wellness guides for the travelers themselves to take care of themselves while they're traveling, things that they can do, but also another wellness guide which is for finance directors and HR managers and the people that are actually paying the bill, because there's generally conflict between the two, right? The people traveling want luxury, the people paying do not. And so we are trying to bridge this gap.
Mm.
And so these guides have really helped with that. And then the other thing that we've done in order to sort of promote the whole well-being thing is we've introduced our own loyalty scheme, which is called Principal Rewards. And that is focused on wellness. So every time a client travels, if they're a member, they accrue points, so much like airline, hotel loyalty
Ah.
schemes and so on. And then they can redeem those points when they have sufficient for small things like an airport lounge or upgrading their parking, because their company will pay for the shuttle bus that's 20 minutes away. So we'll provide a little upgrade, which is
Mm.
the one that send them to pod parking at Heathrow, for example. So it's much, much closer, or the terminal or the car park that you can just walk from. Just little tiny things that make the overall experience much smoother, simpler, and not such an ache in your brain, for want of a better phrase. But then as points go on, they accrue more. Then there's spa days available, sort of massage treatments and all those kinds of things. Again, just to promote the well-being and so on.
Mm.
So, and that's worked really, really nicely for us. And we're always trying to think of new ways to
Mm.
deliver customer service. And then we move on into the accounting and finance teams as well, because we just have visions of them there juggling all these credit card receipts and expense receipts, and that's a hard job for them. So we say, we'll just send you one invoice a month or one
Yeah.
invoice every 2 weeks, and it's just got everything on there. It's all been pre-approved, it's all gone through travel policy, so therefore it's coming, and it's just easy to reconcile. So there's
Yeah.
just a few things that we do.
Yeah, which is amazing. And the
Mhm.
dangers of booking travel yourselves, particularly if you are on business and things go wrong. For example, all of those flights were cancelled from Dubai a few weeks ago.
Mm.
You are stranded. You've got to deal with that yourself with the
Yeah.
airline that you've booked with. Whereas you could take that slack and deal with the problem and sort it all out and try and find an alternative.
Yeah, that's exactly what we do. So we did have a few clients
Did you?
stranded there. Yeah, absolutely. And it was a few days before we could get them home. I mean, to start with, the whole airspace was closed,
Yes,
wasn't
it
it? So
was.
there was nothing that we can't magic airspace. We're good, but we're not that good. So they did have to stay on a few days. But we because of the suppliers that we work with as well, and the relationships that they have with the airlines, we were able to almost shortcut our way through to say, okay, you can't fly on this flight anymore, but we've got this option. And also there were clients that were due to go to Australia, but via Doha, or they were in situ in Sri Lanka and were due to come back via Dubai. And
Mm.
so their flights were cancelled because those hubs were closed off. They're open again now, but obviously they're quieter than normal because people are reluctant to fly that way, interestingly.
Mm.
Yeah, so we had to, I mean, the airlines did have it's like wait till 48, 72 hours out, and then we'll look at rerouting them another way. But we were very, very confident and able to share that confidence that just sit tight. Don't cancel your ticket now, particularly if it's a non-refundable ticket, because you're not going to get any money back if you cancel it and it's your choice. So, with our encouragement, the clients sit tight. And then when the airlines say, okay, we're going to have to cancel this flight, we can't get. So they will then work with other airlines. And actually, I have to say, the airlines all did a tremendous job at that time working together in order to reroute passengers and rebook them onto other flights. So we were able to, someone in Australia were able to book them onto Malaysia Airlines via Kuala Lumpur. So they avoided having to go over the Middle East at all, and various other options that way. And I do think that, if you get onto an airline live chat, even often you get that little message coming out, we're too busy at the moment, we can't take this. You call, but they don't give you the telephone number. So then you spend hours trying to find the telephone number, and then you do find the telephone number, and well, it's going to take you forever to get through. And if you're supposed to be on holiday or you're supposed to be on a business trip, like I say, preparing for your big presentation, or you just want to get home,
Mm.
it's really, people struggle with that when they're in situ, and to just be told, oh, well, register with the Foreign Office and you know, nothing
Yeah.
after that. It's good to have someone to talk to, isn't
Oh,
it?
100%. Well, let's talk about your favorite destinations. Where's your kind of number one place that you've loved traveling to?
Well, our family favourite is always the south of France. We went there year after year after year, but we're starting to get a bit more adventurous now. I mean, I travelled a lot when I was younger,
Yeah.
so I lived in Australia. I absolutely loved that. I love Asia.
Hmm.
But equally, there are some places that elude me still, the whole of Central and South America, for example.
Mm.
So I'm starting to plot a trip there, possibly in the middle of 2027, because my younger son will have finished his A levels then, and so we've got time to take off for 3 weeks. So yeah, maybe we'll
Yeah.
do that. Yeah, and I would like to also explore the South Pacific. I haven't been there either, even though we're so close. I haven't actually been there, to the Cook Islands or Tahiti or something. That just sounds idyllic to me. So, yeah, I'm always conscious of where I haven't been just as much as I have.
Amazing. And you mentioned that you'd set up a business coaching people with their business. Are you still doing that, or was that your kind of plan B in the pandemic, just in case?
Yeah, it was a plan to be in the pandemic, and actually, I was really prolific doing that for a good long while, and then after when things started to come back, the travel agency
Mm.
just with our clients. I mean, thankfully, all of them made it through the pandemic, but they had all put a lot of projects on hold, and so it just went off with a boom. And before I knew it, within a year, I was having to double the size of my team. So, as you might imagine, that was a bit all consuming for a while.
Mm.
So, as much as I was coaching and I really did enjoy that, I put it on the back burner for a while. But no, during the last 12 to 18 months, I have been very much on a part-time basis, but I have been, working with clients again, just helping them in respect of and it can be sort of any service industry really, but for helping them find out what it is, what are they wanting from their business, and therefore helping them understand what it is that their business needs to deliver them in order to live the life that they want to live, or adhere to the reason that they set up their business in the
Mm,
first place. Because nobody set up thinking, oh well, I'll give this go, and if I can just get by, I'll feel lucky. And we didn't do that as business
mm,
owners. We did it to live a kind of lifestyle, and maybe have the
mm.
freedoms as well that being a business owner does bring with that. No, but on the other hand, you've got all the stresses and the complications and so on. So one does outweigh the other sometimes. But yeah, so helping them identify exactly what it is they want from their business, what their business needs to deliver them in order to achieve that. And then when we've got that information, they're suddenly really liberated in terms of, all right, okay, well, now let's drill down to your ideal client, your customer avatar. Where are those people hanging out? How are you going to find them? How are you going to market to them? And I'm just really enjoying helping people sort of understand that about themselves. So that's sort of like a tiny program that I'm doing. And I've also started working as well with three other fellow business coaches. And we're putting together an executive roundtable, which is going to be in the Winchester area, as we're in Hampshire.
Mm.
And that is going to be a mastermind environment for successful businesses to come, and they're wanting to sort of be in a room with like-minded people, work on their businesses, but also have some good brainstorming and time to talk any particular issues through. And we'll have speakers at that and so on. It's a work in progress. We're hoping to start that in September. So it's quite exciting.
That is exciting. And what's
Mm.
the plans with principal travel over the next couple of years? What are you hoping to do with that?
Yeah, so we are continuing on an upward trajectory is the plan, and I've got such a super team behind me, Lindsay, who you met, our reservations manager at the awards evening. So she is really, really committed to this role and looking to expand the whole reservations team as it is, and I sort of sitting back going, oh, my work is done. This is great. You crack on with that. Yeah, so we're hoping to continue to, I would say, expand by another third. And once we hit that, then we'll take stock and decide what to do next. But yeah, certainly the short-term plan is to grow and just keep helping people.
Oh,
Mm.
well, I want to just finish off talking about the awards.
Mm.
So, you won a silver award last year in the Best Businesswomen Awards, and then you entered the Best SME Awards. And when we were chatting before we hit record on the podcast, you said that awards, general business awards, wasn't something you'd done a lot of. So,
Mm.
why now?
Well, I was working with a PR executive for a while, and he just kept saying to me, "You've got to enter awards. You've got to enter awards," and just in order to elevate your status, elevate your name, get your name out there, but also it's a brilliant way of networking, as we discussed as well. I'm not, I'm not the best at networking, or I don't really feel that comfortable doing it. But in an awards environment, celebrating everybody's success it's a no-brainer, really. Now I've done it. It's just such a lovely, lovely thing to do. And then you find yourself in that environment where you meet lots of people, and it doesn't matter the industry, all the challenges are the same. And you talk to people, and cash flow is an issue. You might have a staffing issue. Any of those things, doesn't matter what the business is, does it? It's always very, very similar. And I found that to be quite a revelation, really. So I essentially decided to start entering awards on the back of it being, a PR coup, if you like. And that has actually worked very nicely for us. It's brilliant for our social media posting. It's brilliant just for creating general awareness, really, of us, of our product, but also it's good for us because then we get to share in other people's success and find out and be introduced to new people that we wouldn't have otherwise met. It's been brilliant for that.
Brilliant.
Mhm.
Oh, Great. I'm glad to hear it. I'm sure you'll be doing many more awards.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, thank you for joining me today, Ingrid. It's been fascinating listening to your story and to also all the tips that you shared today. If you've been listening to today's episode and you need some support with your business travel, we will make sure that Ingrid's details are in the show notes and also the details about her new executive coaching program that she's launching. We'll put all her contact details into the show notes so you can get in contact with her. So thank you, Ingrid. I wish
Thank
you
you, Debbie.
continued
Thank you so.
success and let's
Thank
hope
you.
for no more travel disruptions this summer. Keep
Yeah,
fingers crossed.
absolutely. No, let's just all enjoy the lovely weather. And thank you very much for having me. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.